Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good, yeah.
I'm good. Okay, so my name is Lita. I'm a senior advertising student and I'm the interviewer today. I'm gonna ask you something about your opinions about clothing ads, clothing brands, and greenwashing. So this interview is for our research project, and all your information and all your answers will only be available to people in class ADV3500. Is that okay?
Yes.
The interview will last for 30 minutes at maximum. Okay. So first, tell me your name, your age, and your profession.
Yeah, so I'm Emily. I'm 23 and I am profession is clinical research coordinator.
Okay. So now let's start. The first question is, greenwashing is when a company claims it or its products have a positive impact on the environment. Well, it's not true. What are the names of all the clothing brands that you think committed greenwashing?
The first that comes to mind is H&M, and then the other ones this is just an assumption, is Forever 21 and Zara.
So, what are the criteria you use to evaluate whether a clothing brand commits greenwashing or not?
I think for specifically H&M, the other two I'm not sure. For H&M, it was that I think I saw them advertising their green initiative, but then reading online about how that was kind of a fake and just kind of a front to, get more interest from people.
Can you describe your experience of visiting a clothing store and feeling it's committing greenwashing? What are the details that made you feel it was greenwashing?
I feel so it would be like they're having some poster about their initiative to be more environmentally friendly, but then their kind of model of clothing is very fast and cheap. So it's just hard to kind of join together eco-friendly, but also this fast fashion idea.
I see. Well, some people say it doesn't matter if a brand commits greenwashing. They will still buy its products as long as the products are good. What do you think about this point of view? Do they have a point?
If the company is promoting themselves as environmentally friendly, but essentially they're lying, I don't think that's okay. It'd be okay if they're not at all promoting environmental friendliness and just selling their products. That would honestly be acceptable to me, because at least they're not lying and putting a front. But if they are supporting environmental friendly efforts and they're not actually doing it, I'm not sure that I could back that up.
I understand. So now recall the first time you heard about greenwashing. Take us through the thought process when learning about this topic.
If I ever knew about this topic before today, it was very briefly, maybe seeing online. Maybe I didn't even know the term. It was more just the concept of reading about, say H&M or another company being deceptive.
I see. So what was your reaction when learning that companies engage in greenwashing?
Kind of disappointed, just because, and a little upset, because it's the trust that you've built. Any sort of business interaction is essentially just a trust relationship, and you're essentially breaking that by lying to the customers, and you're obviously losing my trust and hope maybe other people's. So yeah, disappointed, upset.
I understand. Well, what kind of effect do the materials used by companies have on the future of the clothing industry, you think?
So I assume that anything that's unsustainable, if that kind of compounds, it's obviously, in a few generations or even less than a few, it'll be incredibly detrimental to our environment, and vice versa if it's used, if good, we obtain those materials sustainably and all that jazz, it will be beneficial and curb our warming.
I see. How important is environmental impact to your everyday life?
I wish I could say it was more. Honestly, talking about this increases it. I think when it comes to fashion, it comes in and out. Whether or not it's on my front of my thought process of what to buy and what not to buy. I think more environmental related things is like materials, whether or not recycling, and so yeah.
I get it. Can you describe a time when greenwashing affected your shopping experience?
The only time I remember is just H&M and I think reading about it and just being upset. Actually, maybe the other, yeah, that's probably it.
Okay. Well, in terms of economic and environmental impact, what is your ideal consensus of a store abiding by these guidelines?
Environmental and economic. Hopefully there's a good medium where a company can be sustainable both environmentally and economically, where I guess right now in our current society, I think being environmentally friendly is becoming more economically actually advantageous because people want that. And so honestly, yeah, asking for that and providing that is going to be really smart. So probably both.
I see. So in 50 years, how do you think the industry will be impacted by greenwashing?
If it continues, it will essentially lose the customer's trust of it even being a useful kind of standard of this company, something worth investing in because they're doing good for the environment. Like that, kind of like if organic wasn't actually organic, people wouldn't buy it. So if it's not watched over and protected, then it will, lose the trust of customers, and people would just be really confused about what to purchase, what to invest in.
I see. So do you think there is a misconception of greenwashing in the business industry?
Yes. I guess because there's no standard of what green means, at least that I know of. Yeah, you could just say whatever you wanted, this is green. It's I don't know. So yes.
Oh, I understand. So now we will move on to the next topic about your perspectives on some ads about race and culture. So first question, tell me about the last time you culturally identified with a model in an ad. How did it make you feel?
Yeah, I think it made me feel good. Surprised and good because seeing someone that looks like you and represents your culture, it's comforting, and it does kind of encourage you to support that brand.
Okay. What ads would make you feel motivated to go to a fast fashion store?
What ads would motivate me? I think on the line of what we just talked about, having people that look like me but also don't look like me and have a diverse kind of modeling panel, so to say. A diverse advertising portfolio.
I see. Well, you mentioned earlier the importance of diversity into this fashion. How would you rate the current representation of your culture into these ads?
I think it's getting better. I think to the point where ideally it would be to a point where I wouldn't be surprised by, say seeing someone who's also Asian on an advertisement. That would be where it would be ideal, where it's okay, that's kind of normal. But it's getting better clearly by the fact that I see them now.
Mm-hmm. So some people say inclusivity is an important element in their shopping experience. However, other individuals have stated that the company's values and respect to the customer is more important. What do you think about this point of view?
I'm assuming that you're saying like that companies' values don't include inclusivity.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Um, so this company doesn't have inclusivity as their values, but they treat their customers well. I guess both are fine. I'm not necessarily opposed. I guess, yeah, I think they're both fine. I'm not. I guess I notice when companies do promote their inclusivity as a part of their value, and I don't necessarily notice, when a company doesn't, but still treats me well. So I honestly have never had like that sort of choose one kind of thought.
I understand. Okay, so can you describe an experience where you felt culture bias in an ad while shopping online or in store?
Yeah, what's culture bias if I can ask?
Any culture bias like misrepresentation or stereotypes?
I see. I don't think I've felt culturally, I don't think I've felt that, thankfully.
Okay. So if you did,
Mm-hmm.
will you express your concern to the company?
Probably not.
Okay. So have there been situations in the past where stores have made you feel as if they are culturally inclusive? If so, what stores?
Yeah, maybe because I shop there a lot, Target. Yeah, they have a diverse model. Like there's in color and I can't tell whether or not like ethnicities, but yeah, and then age, and then also like sizes. So that I think is one of the brands that I'm like, okay, they're very inclusive.
I see. Well, have you viewed any advertisements from fast fashion stores that have incorporated various races and religions? If yes, what were the stores?
Target. I don't know about religion. I haven't. It's hard for companies to express that, maybe unless they're wearing hijab. Yeah, I guess the fact that I haven't noticed that, probably religion is not something that is diverse. But yeah, Target would be the one that I'd be thinking about.
I see. So some people say that popular retail stores have included various models of multiple races in their eyes online. Have you noticed fast fashion stores making an effort to make models more diverse?
I think so. Yeah, I think because it's something that the public and their audience is asking for, it's incredibly advantageous for them. So yeah, I think I've definitely seen that.
Okay. So a well-developed ad usually has diverse models. These models are of different race, culture, size, gender, and sexual orientation who can represent society. Does this description align with the cultural norm according to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. How does including multiple races affect the consumer, you think?
I think including multiple races, like the last question, it better represents America to pigeonhole everyone into one race, or not even race, but just like culture type, all that is nearsighted. And so to like diversify and be able to better represent America and your audience is it's good and advantageous.
How do you think a person 50 years ago would react to today's ad?
So like someone who's 50 years ago. I feel like there would be some level. It depends on the person, obviously, but there'd probably be a level of shock, depending on what store you're looking at, especially. Yeah, I think shock would probably be a predominant response.
Okay. We will move on to the next topic. I'll ask you about your expectations for new stores, new clothing stores. Okay, so the first question, Can you describe your experience of visiting a new clothing store, a newly opened one? Start from how you heard about it and tell me your thoughts and actions at each step in the process.
This store isn't necessarily just a clothing store. The only new one I've been to recently has been REI, which is a outdoor kind of store, but it has clothing. I saw it, the what's it called, right in front, like by the road, the sign. Saw that and then walked in. Was greeted by people asking me if I was interested in something specific, and then just experiencing the advertising throughout the whole and marketing throughout the whole store and really enjoying it.
What are your motivations to visit a new clothing store?
I think if it's my style, in my price range, and if I feel comfortable in it, so to speak, with sales representatives maybe not overwhelming me, but also being able to be close enough where if I needed something, they would be able to help. So an atmosphere, style, and price.
I see. What are your different criteria for different good stores?
Criteria for different good stores. A certain honesty when it comes to what they're talking about. Example, if they're greenwashing, that would probably make me reticent to go to that store. So honesty, price range, good prices, and criteria. I think a level of awareness of their impact as a company who makes profit, that they have influence in the society, and to be able to use their voice, their profit to do good to the community. I think that's important.
I see. What does your ideal clothing store look like?
Ideal clothing store look like. The first thought is like Target. So really something similar to Target, where it's a lot of options. I have the freedom just to roam around, have do whatever I want. But no, I could go to someone if I needed something, organized and in a style that I find appealing.
Okay. Well, some people say online shopping has become people's major way of shopping, so there's no need to go to physical stores to buy clothes. What do you think of this point of view?
I agree and disagree. I'm that person who is shopping online, but also the experience of just being in a store is kind of fun. It's you can't necessarily experience, and you can experience online, but it's not a whole body experience, so to speak. So there's still something about being in a store that I think brick and mortar will stay in business, but obviously the online portion will definitely expand to just accommodate people.
Okay. If so, what is the most important reason that you visit a physical store?
I think leisure, just going there, leisure and also practicality of trying something out, as opposed to the inconvenience of ordering and then trying and then it not fitting and then having to return. The practicality of that, and then also just going there for fun and having opinions about clothes I will never buy.
Oh, I see. So now I need you to think. Think about a luxury clothing store.
Okay.
If a luxury clothing store were to turn into a celebrity, who would it be?
Okay.
And write down your first thought on the paper.
Okay.
Now, think about a discount clothing store. If a discount clothing store were to turn into a celebrity, who would it be? Write down your first thought on the paper. Okay. Next question. You think people who like to travel to physical stores for fun are what kind of people?
Me.
What exactly?
Oh, like their characteristics. This, I guess, people who have time on their hand, who like to shop. Clearly, if they're coming in just to come and they are not, trying to be fast with it. Yeah, people enjoy it. People have time, and this might be a stereotype, but I guess I apply it with it. Like, I see more females in clothing stores than guys, so I guess that's another stereotype. Yeah, those would be the characteristics of people who I see, at least in stores a lot.
I see. Many people think that a brand's stores are all the same across the country, so it's not necessary to visit the new one. What do you think about this point of view?
I'm kind of a if it's not broken, don't fix it person when it comes to shopping because I know the sizes of like pants and things like that. So I'm totally up for just going to a new store for fun. But when it comes to like actually buying clothes, I kind of stick to a few stores. So I guess yes, that makes sense like mentally, but practically for me, I would probably just maybe go in there for fun and actually go to another store for my clothes.
I understand. Now I will tell you some words and you will tell me the brand you think of first. We'll hear the word.
Okay.
First, clothes.
Target.
Fashion.
Zara.
Clothing store.
Target.
Stylish.
What's that? Free People or Anthropology?
Department store.
JC Penney's.
Neutral gender.
Neutral gender. Maybe like what's that store then? Vans. They have clothes.
Vans. Discount store.
Ross.
Positive vibe.
Clothing store. Positive. The only one I think about is like Altered State.
Fast fashion.
Zara.
Okay. Now, can you describe your experience visiting the new store of your favorite brand when you didn't need to buy anything? Why did you go to the store if you didn't need to buy anything? And how did you feel when you were visiting the new store of your favorite brand?
The new store of my favorite brand. I joy, I guess that's the feeling of like excitement of like seeing the new products that are coming in each season, having opinions about them, and just kind of seeing what's contemporary and what's kind of like in vogue, so to speak. And yeah, seeing what you like, seeing what you don't like, trying them on, and yeah, kind of knowing what's in right now is kind of fun.
I see. When do you usually visit the stores of your favorite brand?
Usually I go for like something practical, and then I kind of get swooped into the let's look at everything else. So probably after work if I go to grab some like extra groceries.
Oh, I see. So, okay, that's all the questions. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your participation. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good night.
You too.